Hi guys, so we're going to talk about today is going to be about the books I read in November and the books I'm going to read in December, last month of the year, and what I'm going to change and stuff. I'm writing this on the 12th, right in December, and 2 of December, so let's see. I read 14 novels. So yeah, let's start. The first one I've read, it was just in the first day. It was Summer Sorceries. It's one of my least favorite. It was my least favorite book of the month. I didn't enjoy this book as much as I hoped, since it was printed by TBR Books and I've got all of them. But the short stories were connected to others and I didn't connect with them. Probably if I read more of them, the other stories by the same authors, I don't know. The second one was 11/11's Can't Remember. This is the last book Agatha Christie wrote before she passed away, although it's not the last one she published. And you can see her continuous struggle dealing with Poirot as a character. The more there is another character that appears here. It's Olivier, and it's basically Agatha Christie trying to solve mysteries, and Poirot is just there to solve the mystery itself. She's there mostly to companion us and so on. The last book printed on Poirot was this one, was the Agatha Christie Curtain, Poirot Last Case. Basically, she wrote this novel back in 1940s something, when the war were going on, and she wanted to tell a story about the ending of Poirot and Miss Marple. Miss Marple has also a novel, the ending novel, if you want to know. And here we see a very debilitated Poirot, and spoilers here because I want to speak this that intrigue me, so spoiler warning. Of course we know that he dies. Poirot is very old now, almost decrepit, bedridden, and not bedridden but difficult to walk and so on. So he has a lot of problems, and but he wants to solve a last case, a case that was going to be placed in Styles, the first novel that she wrote. It's the same house, different people, but first same house, and he wants to go back there and solve a mystery that is going to be committed by a guy, Mr. X or Mrs. S, as you want to call it, that is eluding him and the police, and has already committed 5 crimes. But the here is that this criminal is not making the crimes himself or herself. Okay, I'm not going to say it's a woman or a man. It's one of them. Here he wants to. This criminal is a bit different. He gives voice to the person and gives hints to the person, and the person wants to commit the crime either by rage or by jealousy and so on, but all instigated by this character. It's very cool, and we see Poirot a bit different. I'm going to spoil the ending, but this is not the Poirot that we know. So, but I enjoyed it. I give it 8 out of 10. One of my favorite books of the month, Hull by Hugh Howley. Okay, basically this is the novelization of, well, not novelization, I misspoke. This is the book that inspired the series, not novelization. Forgot about it. This book was written a long time ago. I read the first and the second one. I believe it was Proper Gouge and Alston, yeah, back when 12 years ago. And I enjoyed, but I never really got into reading the book. Then the series came out, and I thought, okay, let me buy the 3 books. series, and let's review it and read it and review it. And because I wanted to know more about the silo and more about the characters and so on, and we got it. Although, to be warned, if you've seen the novel, the TV series, and want to read the novel, it's different. Okay, it's not the same thing at all. It feels different because the characters are the same. Okay, some are gender swapped, of course, to make diversity stuff that Hollywood now preaches, but that's not the problem here. The problem here is that we get a lot of some characters are a bit different. I don't know what they are going to do with the second season of the series, because in the first one you see basically there are two stories, but the last story is a police detective that is going out of the silo, and the story ends there. And this novel covers that part, like 200 pages, and then the rest is the sequel of, so probably second season. There is a character on the first part that it's highly important in the second part. Okay, there's shouting the guy that's in charge of everything. But in the movie, in the TV series, that guy is not friends with him. So I don't know how they're gonna play it, but okay. The book is good. I think it's a big, to be honest. There are parts that I didn't enjoy. For example, the Civil War, I didn't enjoy at all. I think well convoluted, very confusing. I enjoyed more discovering about the silo origins and the reasons and the politics and so on, and the story of her in another silo and so on. It's very cool. Okay. Then I read The Watchers in Death by David Aradal. This is the 9th book on the series. There are 12, and this one we get to learn more or learn the creation of the Dead Watch squads, and that are now common, and also with the Sisters of Silence. I think that this book suffers something that is frequent in these novels of this series, that they are very short. Okay, they are 200 pages. So trying to create the Watchers, trying to give so less time to develop the creation of these Watchers and Sisters of Silence, meeting Sisters of Silence, I think David Aradal will need more pages, like 200 more pages at least. This will be a cool story about the creation of this not creation, but one creation, the other was the discovery. But either way, it's a good novel. I give it 8 out of 10. No Guilt of Bloodshed. And I read also All of Your Dreams Will Come True When You're Dead. Okay, these two novels, this one it's okay, this one is bad, to be honest. I didn't enjoy these books at all. I'm going to stop buying them because I'm not enjoying them as much as I hoped, to be honest. Probably I enjoy more this one than this one. They are all in the splatter western universe, so they are independent, so no need to read the other ones, but they are better ones than these two. This was another disappointing read, Body Snatchers by Jack Finney. I didn't enjoy it at all, the book, because it felt dated to me, and I was not in the right mood to read this. Probably if I read this 10 years ago, probably I would be better off. Who knows? Another one that I read this month that I felt the same thing was Elric of Manly-Balmanet, Sailors of Sea of Fate by Michael Moorcock. It was a reread. I read the first one almost 13 years ago, 14, and it was my first foray of grimdark fantasy, and my love for Warhammer 40k arrived from there. Unfortunately, this reread was disappointing. I was trying to reread more books, but maybe the memories are better than reading the novel. I don't know. I was disappointed. But let's see. Who knows? I'm going to read the third one on the Michael Moorcock series to read the rest ones. So let's see. Sea of Change by James Pollock was the next book. This one is a thriller, eco thriller novel where stuff is happening in the seas and it's destroying and it's killing humans and of course species, fish species. It's very interesting take on the genre. I enjoyed the novel. Okay, I think that sometimes it was a bit slow, but I enjoyed it. If you are a major in science related to the planet and so on, maybe you enjoy this one. I believe there is another one, a very similar novel, and there is another similar novel, I've got it, which was based on this one, and even got some criticism and some there was tribunal actions against the book because it was like he stole the plot from this book, although the other one is more famous. So yeah, that's that. It's from a German writer. I don't know, I don't have it the name here, but it's from a German writer. There is also TV series and so on. Then I read The Drifting Classroom by Kazuo Umezu, volume 3. Basically it's a story of, this is manga, okay, sorry, and it's a story about a children's school aged 7 to 10, 11 that are transported into another world, or they think, they later understand it's not the other world, but it's the same Earth, but in the future where humanity is gone and all is a vast desert and so on. There are stuff there and so on, but it's already very, very good. It's Lord of the Flies vibes, a lot of this Lord of the Flies vibes, but it's with children, and so maybe some people will enjoy it because of that. There's some violence, and expect that. To be honest, don't forget this book was written in the 70s, so there may be some stuff there that not all person will enjoy, even the way the manga is designed and written and so on. I enjoy it. Respect to read 2000. Sorry about my cough, a bit cough a cold. And expect 2,000 pages long series. The last books I'm going to talk was the last one I not read, I heard was Devour by Kurt Henderson, was audiobook that I've read, and there is also Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. Both are horror. One, the Dead 11, it's a very good novel, to be honest. It's a Cthulhu focus island. It's written in the same format of a zombie book. It's written in like interviews with letters and so on, audiobook descriptions and so on. The book is written like that. It's a story about a woman trying to investigate the death of her son and the connection to the island. And it's very cool, it's very moody, dark, moody, There's stuff there that you know there is something there, but we don't know until right in the end. To be honest, the feeling of Cthulhu monster being is there, but I didn't think they provide the feel. I don't know. There's something missing there. But it's good, okay? It's good, but don't expect some revelations until right in the end, like last 50 pages for a 400 pages novel. I think that the author should have given more information, more a closure, more vibes of the world. But in the end, it was a good read, to be honest. I don't have the book because I've watched it and I've heard it audiobook format. Last book, Lair of Crystal Fang by C.F. Sidor. This is another one on Archon Horror. I've read everything for now. Okay, I have 3 more to read, but everything else I've read it or have it. And this one is probably my favorite, I think, of the novels. It's a very, very good novel about a group of characters that we know playing the games, and they try to investigate what is beneath Arkham, and we got a lot of characters. The only thing I would have changed it, or I will have, I will not change it, I will criticize it that since the majority of the characters are players in the game, we know that stuff is not going to happen to them. Basically, that's it. So there's that caveat there. So this is some books I've read. So what I'm going to read, I'm going to try to finish some books and trying to read some others. So let's start what I'm going to try to finish. I'm going to try to finish Red October, okay, at the end of Red October, and finally finish Blackwing, the Ravencry, okay, Ravencry. I've got 100 pages to read. Books I'm going to read: Stake by Richard Lehman, okay, and Jeff Long, Year Long. Year Zero, not Year Long. 2 novels. Second, I'm going to read Thunderhead, the second novel on the series, and the 10th novel of The Last Son of Dorn, the second novel. This is the second one. Finally, I've already started reading some books, and I've read already one book. I've read Sympathy of the Widow, and I love it, the book. I will give it a 9 out of 10, but I will never openly give you the go read this if you want to read our story, because this is a very disgusting novel. This is a revenge story, but the person who is doing revenge is brutal as you can get. If you have problems with the violence towards children, toward persons, mutilations, cannibalism and so on, don't read this at all. But if you enjoy it, please go ahead. I've read this in one sitting. I was in the hospital, so I read this in one day. I already started as well 2 novels, The Ravening Deep and The Creature, John Sahul, and Raven Deep by Tim Pratt. I've read like 50 pages of each. The last one I'm going to read is going to be a Warhammer story to finish the series, Warhammer Chronicles, Ursun's Teeth. I started a while back, like 10 years ago. I stopped for some reason. I don't think it was because I'm not enjoying, but now is the time to read it. So I'm reading 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 novels. I think that's good. If I have the time to read more, that's it. So yeah, that's it for me. Let's hope 2024 I focused more on trilogies, fantasy, and that's my goal. It's to read more fantasy, less horror, more fantasy, because I have got a lot of books to read back there. I've got all of this to read. Thank you and have a nice day.